Hi, I'm Kay Walker. We're at my studio at Fabrication 2 in Leeds, and I'm a part of the YSI Sculpture Network. My work is a lot of crossover. I work in sculpture, fashion, performance, poetry, drawing. There's always kind of a communal theme of the body or the physical presence in the work somehow. A lot of the themes I kind of talk about are my identity, queer identity, my body, or body in a positive sense, and also dysphoria or trauma. Kind of decorating the body or using it as a sculpture itself, or using it to complement the sculpture. And I think that's why I love fashion, because a lot of what fashion is sculpting onto the body, which I really like, or sculpting the silhouette of the body. The first time I dabbled into performance is when I did my Seven Devils, and I put myself in it because that project was quite a personal project, I guess, in a way. But I used the kind of thing that I usually do, where I use fantasy or mystical imagery to kind of talk about themes, or with the Seven Devils I did the puppets to resemble each of the themes that I was trying to talk about. I suppose in a way I did another sculpture performance which was called The Tower, where I made this sculptural bodysuit thing. You couldn't see my face or anything, but I was inside of it. And I suppose I was performing. But every time I do a performance piece, I've noticed it's I'm in it, but I'm always kind of skewed in some sort of way. I'm either covered in gold paint, or inside a big bodysuit thing, or and with the next project I've got planned, I'm going to be enclosed inside a sort of shell thing. So it's keeping that separation, I think, because I'm quite a nervous person being on stage, which is why I don't really perform my poetry very much, because I don't really like being on stage. When I do performance in my artwork, I usually do it in a way where I feel I'm there, but I'm not there. I kind of like the idea of being restricted as well, physically. I suppose there's probably some really deep psychoanalysis going on with my work, but my relationship with my own body's been quite negative a lot of the time, with health things and gender things and all that sort of stuff. So it's I find it quite fun being able to present my body almost post-human, sort of not really any gender, or changing the physique of it. I find that really exciting, or blurring the way that people can see my body. It's yeah, taking the control, being if I can't control my health side of things per se, it's or at least I can control it in my artwork and what I'm trying to say. My next collection is going to be called Starry Eyes, exclusive. It's based on an experience I had, which I wrote a poem about when I went to Blackpool for New Year's Eve with my friends to St. Anne's. I went out onto the shore at 4 in the morning, and it was have you ever been on a beach when the tide's all the way out?
Yeah.
And it was pitch black, because obviously it was nighttime, and you couldn't see anything apart from stars. It just felt flat land with stars, and it was really crazy. But I always just think about that. So I wrote a poem about it, and I was just do a load of a starry collection. So it's kind of colours are kind of sugary colours, and a lot of sequins, and kind of candy rock, candy floss sort of colours, because I want to incorporate a bit of Blackpool, a lot of garish floral materials as well, old seaside hotels where they always had the really awful but amazing dated decor. But I love that sort of stuff.